What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a little bit of a different video. This is in my last video away from the reselling. I did the Don Toliver video, and now today we're doing the video on the best movie of 2026, which is Obsession. So let's jump right into it. If you haven't already seen the movie Obsession, basically there's this group of four friends, and the main character, Bear, is obsessed with one of the friends in their group. Her name is Nikki. Um, so she ends up dropping her crystal necklace down the drain, and Bear thought it'd be a good idea to go buy her another one, but instead he finds a One Wish willow and thought that would be a better gift for her. He ends up taking her home from work, and he was thinking about telling her how he really feels about her, and then she ends up basically crashing out and does not go his way. He ends up enraged, grabbing the One Wish willow that he originally bought for her. He wishes that she would be obsessed with him and loves him more than anyone in the world. He snaps it. She's there standing in the doorway, and then he gets all nervous. She walks up to the car, and basically they end up going back to his place for the night. In the next clip in the movie, she ends up going crazy at night, and they end up going to work the next morning, and the other friend, Ian, asks Bear about what happened, and then he tells him the whole story about how her dad's dying, and even though that she doesn't really care about her dad, it still hurts. Fast forward a little bit to the movie, she ends up confessing, and he takes advantage of that. Everything went well for a little while. Then at dinner, that is exactly when things started to make a turn. She starts acting crazy, and Bear doesn't really know what to do, but then he still stays with her instead of trying to do something about it. So before one day he went to work, he told her bye, and she stays in the same position until he gets home from work. When he gets to work, she fixed him a sandwich and he didn't know. And Sarah, the other friend, was teasing him about what she wrote on the post-it note, and it said, "What's the critic? Cat." But she later finds out that she ended up cooking his dead cat, which died in the first scene, which is very, very eye-opening for Bear and all the friends. He gets home from work, and she's still standing in the same position, and she threw up on herself and she peed on the ground because she didn't want. She was just sitting there waiting for him to get home. Bear also broke the news to Nikki that Ian was having a party at his house, and it was supposed to be a boys' night. And she ends up saying, "Oh, I'll come with you. I'll come with you." And then he says a boys' night, and then she gets all mad, and then he finally just lets her come with him. They get to the party, and they're playing this kind of like block game where there's a dare on whatever the back. Then it gets back to Nikki's turn. She's reading a story that she's writing, which is a reverbed version of Hansel and Gretel, which is very traumatizing to listen to. It gets the Bear's turn, and it says, "Kiss the person on your left." And on his left side, Sarah was sitting on his left. So Nikki gets up and moves her out of the way and kisses Bear so Sarah can't. Then she starts acting a little crazy and basically says she's joking, and then nobody laughs, and then she starts crashing out. But then she clicks back into her normal self and then tries to kill herself with the glass bottle because this obsession that she has over Bear is taking over her, and so there's nothing she can do about it. Bear doesn't realize what's going on, so they end up going back to his place, and he gets all upset, and then they're talking back and forth, and then she finally confesses to him that she can't be Nikki, and then everything it calms down a little bit, and then she jumps out of nowhere and then starts acting really weird, and then Bear's nervous up against the door, and she keeps like rushing at him, and it's all very, very terrifying. He recommended that he would go stay at Ian's house, which he does not. He ends up staying the night with her, but she ends up still going crazy, which is very, very scary. About 3 a.m. during the movie, they are sleeping, and he gets a text message from Sarah saying that she needs to meet up with him. She needed to tell him two things. He says no, and then she said that she would end up coming there if she doesn't meet him at this park. The real Nikki wakes up and tells Bear to kill her before she wakes back up. Bear has no idea what's going on, and this made a lot of fans hate him because he could have fixed the issue, but instead he later goes to meet up with Sarah at the park, and they talk back and forth. She shows him her letter that is later going to be the acceptance letter into the college that she's been wanting to get into. She then tells Bear that she was on his left during the game, and they were finally free away from Nikki and everybody. And as soon as they are about to kiss, Nikki comes, breaks the window, and kills her. Bear sits there with nothing to do. She comes over there and tells Bear that he wished for this and it's all his fault. They end up getting rid of the body, and then Bear runs to get another One Wish Willow, and then goes to Ian's house to tell him what happened, and basically try to get him to use his wish to prevent any of this from going any farther than it already has. Ian doesn't believe him, so he snaps and wishes for $1 billion. Money falls, and then Bear rushes back over to his place, opens the door. Nikki nowhere in sight, so he walks in a little bit, and you can see Nikki walking kind of funky in the back. He turns back around, and Nikki is wearing Sarah's clothes, her hair, she's smoking, and she has all the same tattoos Sarah did. She presses Bear, and this is the most crazy she's ever been. Ian's knocking on the door. She ends up busting in, and she has a gun that she puts in her mouth, threatening to say she would kill her. And then Ian walks in, and she turns around and shoots him. And then Bear, hopeless, he runs to the bathroom, saying he needs to clean up. And he was originally going to shoot himself, but he couldn't do it. So then he grabbed pills out from the same pills that killed his cat, and he took every single pill. There's sad music playing in the background. He ends up changing his mind. But in the other room, you can hear Nikki open the One Wish Willow box, because he brought two. The other one that he brought, she snaps it, and before he can spit the pills up, his hand gets taken out of his mouth because now he is in love with her. He opens the door, and there's a little bit of romantic scene. They kiss, and then he starts to overdose. Nikki's crying, and then he dies, and then she snaps back into it. It slowly spins off, and the movie ends. The main reason why this movie was so good is because fans have not seen this type of horror mixing in a new type of horror with a romance, bringing it together, and made it a beautiful, different genre that we've ever seen. The reason this movie got so big is because all the actors were random actors that they picked up. Indy Navarrete, also known as Nikki, played her role so good, and I've now seen this movie 3 times, and every single time the movie theater has almost been completely packed, and that is for a reason. This movie being named Obsession is ironic because it makes fans obsessed with the movie, and people want to watch it over and over and over again. People have constantly been going into the theaters and watching this movie over and over again because of the feeling that they get at the end of the movie after watching it. With this movie only taking about 20 days to film and $750,000 total between all the actors and the places that they used to film, which is an absolute steal for that director, Curry Barker. It has already been teased that there's going to be a sequel to Obsession and a future reference in one of Barker's movies, saying how Nikki's consequence is going to pop up rather sooner than later. I've been wanting to make this video because this movie has touched me deeply, and I've already seen it 3 times. In my next video, it's either going to be a card video or something with the Goodwill bins. So one of those videos is dropping next, hopefully next weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed this movie review, and stay tuned for the next reselling video to continue my journey. I'll see you guys in my next video.